Tonight, let's bring in Karl Rove, who just landed in Minnesota to analyze Obama's speech and Governor Palin's selection. Were you as surprised as most people, Mr. Rove, about that?
I was. This is John McCain at the most John McCainish. The maverick independent senator from Arizona decides to discard all the conventional wisdom and picks the maverick reformer from Alaska as his running mate, and she turns out to be a gun-toting, hockey-playing, basketball-playing woman. Okay,
now, the big disadvantage is her inexperience. Would you cede that point?
I would, but you know what? Let's have a battle, if need be, between the Democrats saying she's inexperienced when she says, I've been governor for 2 years and I'm the only person who's got executive experience. And, oh, incidentally, the guy who's at the top of your ticket has been in the United States Senate for 3.5 years, and he spent most of that time out running for president. I mean, that's a battle I'm not certain the Democrats really want to have, because it highlights the inexperience of their candidate, who, frankly, has no executive experience. And he's spent most of the last 2 years while she's been governor, he spent it on the campaign trail.
Okay, but it takes away an offensive weapon from John McCain, because he was saying... Go ahead.
I don't know if it takes it away, but it certainly diminishes it. I'll accept that. But I'm not certain, again, if I was Obama, if I'd want to get in an argument about the relative. I've got 4 years in the United States Senate, and she's got 2 years as governor, and that makes me qualified to be president, but her not. I'm not certain that's an argument he would necessarily win.
All right. Now, this is a pure demographic play, I believe, and you are the king of research in election strategy based upon what you know about voter profiles. It seems to me the McCain campaign learned two things in their research. Number one, that putting Romney on the ticket was two rich white guys and not going to help them with women voters. And number two, they need women voters to get elected, so that's what Governor Palin's selection is all about. Am I wrong?
Well, the second, I think, is right. I think they said, look, there are two groups of women up for grabs in this election. One are the Hillary Clinton sort of blue-collar, older, working-class women, and the other group are the suburban, soft Republicans and independent women, and that's a big voter group that they've decided to go after. But I disagree with the first. I think it's a different thing, if I could suggest. I think what his people, and I've picked this up and talking to them over the last several weeks. I just didn't read the signal leading to Sarah Palin, but they said, look, we're in better shape than we should be. The race is essentially 1 or 2 points. We've had 6, 8, 10 good weeks. He's had 3 bad months. But what do we do in order to keep it for the last 9 weeks shook up and a dynamic moving our way? So I think part of this is they said, look, we're going to pick somebody that we think will give such energy, be such a wow, be such a big, different, out-of-the-blue deal that people will say, hey, let's give another look at McCain and his running mate. And that's, I think, exactly what they've achieved today.
Well, they certainly are running a campaign that is surprising, and that they stole Obama's thunder. Who's talking about his speech today? This Palin.
My point.
Yeah.
My point.
I mean, but that's a one-day victory. Now, you've had almost 20...
They've got a 5-day victory here. The convention will be energized by...
Yeah, absolutely.
This will last into next week. And the real question, you've hit on it, you've alluded to it, the 62 days that follow the convention are going to determine whether this was a great idea with durability and impact on the election, or whether it was, a nice idea that faded in its importance.
It's fascinating, but it makes it just the most interesting election that I've seen in my lifetime. Now, you've had 24 hours to think about Barack Obama's speech. And look, I'm a hardcore guy who are problem solving. I want guys to solve problems. I don't care about the party system at all. Couldn't care less about it. All right? I understand what Barack Obama did last night was try to unify the Democratic Party under an umbrella of a generalized Democratic speech. Now, that bothered me a little bit, but I don't think it bothered a lot of people. I think a lot of people thought it was just swell.
Well, look, he had a chance last night in this incredible venue to give a memorable, remarkable speech, because it was that kind of a moment. I mean, we had the first African-American to carry his party's banner into the general election for president, and it was an historical moment. But I think the speech fell short. I think it had 3 parts, and 2 of the parts, the first part and the last part, were at war with each other. The first part was a full-throated attack on McCain, the old-style politics, and the final third of the speech was a call for a new style of politics and an explicit rejection of the old style of politics. So you can't be saying, I reject old style politics, if you've started off by saying, let me demonstrate I'm a really great practitioner of old style politics. Because again, the criticism tended to be over the top and, as you point out, a little bit exaggerated. I mean, the suggestion that somehow or another, if John McCain didn't know where Osama bin Laden's cave was, that or if he knew where it was, he wouldn't go get him, is, you know, not real.
All right. Mr. Rove, we will see you out in St. Paul next week. We thank you very much. Karl Rove just got off the plane, came right over to us, and we really appreciate it. Thanks, Karl. Next on the